There are a lot of unwritten rules in hip-hop production. Some of them make a lot of sense, and some of them really don't. Some of these are my own personal rules, and some of these are viewpoints that I've heard from many producers over the years. So what I'm gonna do is state each rule, let you know whether I'll follow it or break it, and I'll give you the reasons behind each choice. You have to sample from vinyl. You can't sample from YouTube. In my opinion, you can break this rule. When I was listening to hip hop as a teen, there was no YouTube. So almost every producer was using vinyl or another type of physical copy of an album to sample. But I didn't start making beats until my early 20s, around the time when YouTube first came out. I've been to record stores, and it's fun to dig, but it's also convenient to just download songs from the comfort of your own home. I have tons of music to sample on my hard drive now. Full albums I downloaded from Blogspot websites. I guess if you have a keen ear, you'll be able to tell that it's from an MP3 file. But what good purpose does it serve for you to point that out? It doesn't matter. My philosophy is that your song is either dope or it's not. I don't get hung up on all the technicalities. A song has to be a certain amount of years old, 20 or 30 years old at least, before you can sample it. It can't be something new. This is a good rule to follow because the 70s is a great decade to find samples from. But this is a rule that I do break sometimes. Think about Rock Boys by Jay-Z. That song they sampled for that was new at the time. But how could you know that just by listening to it, without doing research on it? That's what I keep going back to. The methodology doesn't hold more weight in my mind than the result. There's nothing wrong with sampling something new. But in the way I think about it, if you sample a recent song, it has to be from a different genre than hip hop. That doesn't seem to make sense, but I'll explain it a little more later. But this next one is a really good one. You're not a real producer if you don't make beats with hardware. I never owned a drum machine. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just being honest. My parents didn't have enough money to buy me a drum machine when I was 13 or 14 years old. I heard Little Brother for the first time back when I was in college, and once I knew Knife Wonder made his beats on FL Studio, I had to have it. And it was cheap. Plus my first copy was a crack copy anyway, so I learned how to make beats on it that felt like the hip hop I grew up listening to. Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Nas, Black Moon, groups like that. Will I end up buying an MPC or machine? Probably in the future sometime. But do I need it? I don't think so, honestly. You can't use sample packs. This rule I followed for a long time, but now I break this rule quite often. Because a lot of producers create loops with live instruments, it makes my beats stand out because it's like mixing music that sounds clean sonically with drums that sound dirty. Most beats are either all clean or all dirty. With my beats, I like to give you the best of both worlds. The other reason I use them is because I still chop the loops on sample packs the same way I chop samples from old records. As long as I can still have hard drums and deep bass lines, I'm fine with using sample packs. You cannot bite another producer's style. This rule is one that you can never break. It's okay to be inspired by another producer, but you have to put your own style into your music. What's the difference between inspiration and biting? That's a good question. Inspiration is when you get an idea from someone else, but you add on to it and build more on top of it. Biting is when you try to make an exact replica of what a producer is doing. People did that to Dilla. Producers bit Timbaland. Now, sadly, he's stealing other producers' music now, but that's a different story for a different day. And what's crazy is, Bink claims that Just Blaze bit his style. Now, I don't have a dog in that fight because they are both great producers, but what I will say is that Biting somebody's style is never okay. It's as dishonorable as breaking the street code of not snitching. You can't just sample another rap song for your rap song. In my opinion, you shouldn't break this rule, because within hip hop, we have our set of rules that are based on the culture. Sampling is a part of the culture of hip hop. Hip hop music is made by creatively manipulating elements from other genres of music. If you just take a hip hop beat and rap over it again, that takes away the creativity. You can use the beat for a freestyle, but you can't resample it. Mary J. Blige singing on the top billing drums is okay because that's R&B. Actually, that should be fine if you just use the drums. But you can't just sample I Got Your Open remix, for example, and make a whole new song around it. That would be biting. You can't use the same sample as another producer unless you're gonna flip it differently. This is kind of like the previous rule, and it does get tricky because sometimes producers find the same sample. I mean, that just happens, people going digging and crate digging and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna find the same sample here and there. If you know in your heart of hearts that you didn't just use it because you heard another producer use it first, then run with it and stand on business. But if I know that it's a classic song that everyone knows, I'm not gonna mess with it unless I chop it up completely different. Can't take drums from another hip hop producer's beat. What do y'all think about this one? Should you use another producer's drums? If you want to know my stance on it, then click on the video that's on your screen. If you read the title, that'll let you know my view on it, but in the video, I elaborate on it further. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in that next video. Peace.